This is a video chart presentation of Desmarais Energy brought to you by allpennystocks.com. Desmarais trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the ticker DES. See, this is a really strong climb this had from back here last September, October, down around 8 cents. Nice plateau through here, a little bit of resistance, blew through it on some increased volume. Touched 35, been trickling down since then, still holding the vast majority of the gains though. Closed yesterday at 24 cents. You can see volume has really slacked off. So after any sort of consolidation, we're going to take a look at the indicators and see if this is ready for a possible move back upward. There you can see the retrace reflected in the MACD. More recently, though, starting to trend back towards zero. That's something bullish, something that you always look for. Very similar look to the PPO. Typically, this sort of position right here would be a good reversal position for the ADX, except for this negative DI starting to curl back up. Now, the DIs are pretty susceptible to whipsaws, but it's something to keep an eye on. We want to see that turn back down. This ADX continue its uptrend. You want to see something along those lines where they're reversing positions. Nice look overall to the money flow index, still holding over top of 50. That's riding in bull chart territory, and it's something good to see even while the price per share is sliding backwards a little bit. Accumulation distribution, you can see this basically in a channel right along that area. You're going to pay attention for this. We want to see it take out the top and make a new higher high. Shaking money flow shows there's been a little bit of selling going on. See through here, buying pressure was dominant. Here over the last few weeks, it's taken on some selling pressure. Keep an eye on that to start to trend back towards zero. You want to see buying pressure start to overcome selling pressure. We always talk about looking for uptrends, and that's the sort of thing we'll keep our eye on with the CCI as well. You can see riding around zero, that's pretty neutral. Right now, if it wants to come back down, you want to see it make a higher low, continue the uptrend. Then you just combine that with the other indicators to educate yourself there's going to be some possible upward price movement. Full Stowe's in a nice position, holding in bull chart territory. The higher it stays, the better, but you certainly want to see it hold over top of 50 on any retraces. A trend over top of 50 is very strong. I like what I see in some of these longer-term indicators, like the PPO, like the MACD, and the TRIX, demonstrating a bullish cross right here and trending back towards zero. The TRIX is a lagging indicator, but it's pretty reliable if it trends back towards zero, so that's something to keep an eye on as it has a nice look to it. RSIs are in a pretty neutral position, holding right there around 50. All three of them tucked together. No real strong inclination given as to which way this is possibly going to move. What you look for is that break back above 50, because much like many of the other indicators, holding above 50 is bullish. So when it's just riding around the middle like that, you just keep your eye peeled for any sort of upward momentum to enter the stock. A couple things to note about this is there's the trend line. You don't really want to see price per share just kind of trickle sideways through it. There's not a lot of strength to it. What you look for is some buying pressure to come in and try and establish a new high. You can see the last couple times this dipped, it's pulled right back up promptly, and it didn't dip as low the second time, so it's something to keep an eye on. This is going to try and establish higher lows. We want to see if it can break through that trend line. Pretty strong support level established right there around 23 cents. You can see even dating back into here, it was a support level, held as pretty good support right there for several weeks. I'd look for 23 to continue to hold. Any sort of dips, I just want to see it make a higher low like it did through here, hit 22, and then pull promptly back up. What I'm going to have my eye on is the break of that trend line. I'm certainly going to keep an eye on volume. Only 500 shares traded yesterday. You can see that this does trade on relatively lower volume. I took a quick look at the share structure. This only has about 27 million shares outstanding, so it is a relatively low float play. From a resistance standpoint, it needs to break its way through 26. Over the last month, it set itself up as a pretty good resistance level. You can see it's kind of staggered through there, so there's going to be some resistance at several different points. But right now, the 50-day moving average is tucked in at 26. It's had a hard time over the last few weeks. If some momentum comes into it, breaks that trend line, moves above the 50-day moving average, these secondary resistances through here at 28, a little bit at 27, I think will be moved through pretty easily. And even 30 cents, I think some stronger resistance is going to come in up here around 32. Of course, the ultimate top there at 35, that's going to be a very strong resistance as well if it's going to try and penetrate it and make a new high. But as far as just static resistance in between, I'd look for that 32 marker as being the next major area after 26. Charts are, of course, dynamic, and this one is riding right at that point where it could try and turn bullish. You see things like the MACD trending back towards zero. Of course, the break of the money line is very bullish. Right now, it's just trading over top of the 200-day moving average, which is trending upward. That's a very bullish sign. If this can climb back over top of the 50, you'll see things like this money line being broken, this chart taking on a whole new dynamic if it holds this bottom support and starts to generate some upward momentum. Right now, DES is in that position where that has that sort of potential for things like that to happen. So it's for this reason that Desmarais is hitting the watch list, and we'll see where it goes from here. As always, annotated video chart is merely my interpretation. I'm not a financial consultant and strongly encourage you to do your own proper due diligence. Consult a qualified financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Please visit the allpennystocks.com website to view the full disclaimer disclosure and do not base any investment decisions upon any material found on the website and/or its video chart. No person employed by All Penny Stocks is a registered investment advisor or licensed broker-dealer. Thank you for watching and trade smart.